Please welcome Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Thank you so much for that warm and gracious introduction. Welcome. We're here to kick off Storytime here at PAX 2003. 2003? Is that a time warp? What is that? 2023. You know, that was a bit of a Freudian slip, because I have attended so many PAX events, not in 2003, but I was here at the very first PAX event at about 4 years old. I love the attitude in this photo. That's the Reginator at 4 years old. And this is me and Mr. Miyamoto at the Nintendo store in New York City, celebrating Super Mario's 25th anniversary. You know, the opportunities to learn from these two legendary people are among my most treasured memories at Nintendo. And being thought of a member of the Nintendo Triforce was truly humbling. It's no secret that Nintendo's follow-on to the massively successful Wii, the Wii U, did not capture the emotions and the pocketbooks of our consumers. Wii U sold only 13 million systems, the second worst performance of a system in Nintendo's history, second only to the disastrous Virtual Boy. Luckily, I had nothing to do with that. Other concepts are highlighted in my book, Disrupting the Game from the Bronx to the Top of Nintendo. And there are a limited number of signed copies here at PAX. So I encourage you, if you like these stories, and are interested in some of my lessons, I encourage you to go pick up a copy. For those who are watching this on the web, the book is broadly available, and there's an audiobook narrated by a fantastic storyteller. That's me. And the audiobook also has a lot of bonus content that I recorded with Jeff Keighley as well. So it's a really fun listen that I encourage you to pick up as well.
So in talking before this, and when doing the planning for this talk, we prepared for the eventuality there would be a little extra time. And if you've been paying attention to the PAX social accounts at all, we put a form up for Q&A requisition. And we've got thousands of questions and submissions from across the planet. And once Laura and I went through all of them and took out all the Mother 3 questions, there were 7 just gems. So we'll jump through as many as we can real quick. So just think me as a nasally text-to-speech. Or the voice of the people.
There you go.
All right. Okay, so Louis Jean from Oregon asks, has there been a video game that changed your life for the better?
So the video game that changed my life for the better literally was The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. Right? And so just here's one, right? So the SNES was my first gaming system that I owned. I had played other gaming systems, but it was the first one that I brought into my house. It came with Super Mario. I played the Super Mario game, finished that with 99 lives. But the one that really shaped my relationship with gaming was Zelda Link to the Past. I was working for Pizza Hut at the time. I would be at work, I would get home, I'd spend time with my 2 kids, and then I would start to play that adventure. And it was like a second job for me. I actually called the Nintendo helpline because I couldn't progress past one of the puzzles. And I really do believe that it was that relationship with that game that enabled me to continue my gaming journey, to have credibility with the people at Nintendo. I told the story of my playing Zelda Link to the Past when Mr. Miyamoto was being awarded with a Lifetime Achievement Award by the US-based trade group, the ESA. And I told this long, passionate story of me playing the game, getting to the final boss. It literally was 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up and go to work the next day. And I was playing, and my son had his own game file, and he would see how I've progressed during the game. So that morning, I stopped playing at 3, I'd go to work, all I could think of was getting back home, beating the final boss, getting to see the end credits of the game. I get home, I'm walking in the front door, and I hear my son, who's probably around 8 at the time, he's squealing with delight. He had found my save file. He had seen where I was, and he had spent, from the time he got home from school, which was probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, until I walked in the door about 6:30, he'd been trying to beat the final boss. And he had literally just done it before I walked in. So imagine I'm telling the story as Mr. Miyamoto is being inducted into this prestigious thing. So I get back to the table, Mr. Miyamoto, after he's given his thank yous, sits at the table, he's seated next to me, leans over, Reggie-san. I said, yes, Mr. Miyamoto. I said, was that story true? He said, absolutely, right? This is how you touched me, this is how you touched my family. So I would say the relationship that I had with that game really enabled me to be effective and successful while I was President COO of Nintendo of America.
That's great. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I didn't know that story, but the way this kicked off, the way we were able to finally land Reggie, and this has been a dream come true, having you open the show, was like we were on a flight together, and we were talking about games, and he was like, what's your favorite Nintendo game? And I was like, Link to the Past. So wow, who knew I was buying such clout? But yeah, I mean, I think we're out of time, or you want to do one more?
We'll do the last one.
Last one. We'll end on this one, because this is a heavy hitter, so we really need to get to this one. All right, so final question. Brittany Rodiger from Los Angeles. Did you watch the Super Mario Bros. Movie? If you did, how did you like it?
So, I'm assuming many of you, yes, I saw the movie. I saw it in theater. I've seen it many times since. Love the movie. Love the movie. Even though I wasn't asked, to be in the movie. Love the movie. And, from my perspective, what I loved all of the fan service that was sprinkled throughout the movie, right? The GameCube sound when you would load a disc as a ringtone for Luigi's phone, right? Just as a small example of all of the fan service. I loved it. And, I had nothing to do with the movie, but I do like to believe that I had a small hand to play in building the relationship between the Universal Studios group, which led to the relationship with Illumination. I was there at the very first meeting. Mr. Iwata, senior executives from Universal Studios and Comcast Corporate So it was just fantastic to see the seeds of an idea that were brought to life many, many years later. So, love the movie. Ryan, thank you.
Thank you.
Folks that are here, fantastic experience. Those of you who are lucky enough to go enjoy the Nintendo experience as well, I hope you enjoy that too. Again, I had nothing to do with it, but I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. Thanks again.